Hello, dear viewers. We are going to start a series in which we will discuss the several aspects of Indian judicial systems, whether it is relating to bar, whether it is relating to the bench, whether it is for trial court, whether it is for session court, whether it is for the tribunals and others institution established by law who are adjudicating the rights of the citizens. So basically, I am trying to give you the picture inside out how our these adjudicating institution are working, so you can get benefited from it. Firstly, let us understand that the hierarchy of the Indian courts. As we know that India has a apex body of adjudicating the litigation is that the Honorable Supreme Court. Honorable Supreme Court, as name suggests, it is the supreme body for the adjudication of the rights. Apart from Supreme Courts, at state level, we can say the state judiciary, we have high courts. And then, apart from the high court, at district level, we have district courts. So there are three layer, or we can say the three tier of judicial system: district court, high court and supreme court. In the district court, again it can be classified into the two part. One part is senior division, junior division, that is municipal courts, junior division judge, senior division judge. Apart from that, additional district judge leading by a district judge. So at the district level, if you see the structure of the courts are in a such manner that any original suit, if we talk about the civil litigation, it may go before the civil court junior division or maybe civil court senior division. The court will be decide on the basis of pecuniary jurisdiction, or there may be provided in the statute that only this type of matters or matters arising out these statutes will be go to the senior division courts. And the district judge is the appellate body, appellate authority for the junior division and senior division courts. In the criminal side, there is a magistrate courts, and above the magistrate there are session courts. If we equivalently compare that or assume that suppose the junior division and senior division on civil side is equivalent to the magisterial courts, that the judicial magistrates headed by chief judicial magistrate, and the district judge is equivalent to the session judge, court of session. What is the difference between them? When a court is doing a civil adjudication, then it is a court of civil judge. According to the rank or a hierarchy, we can say civil judge junior division, civil judge senior division, or additional district judge, district judge. But when the court is functioning and adjudicating the criminal matters, then junior division and senior divisions becomes the judicial magistrate. These judicial magistrate has allotted their work according to the police station existing in the particular district. This allotment of the work is given by the chief judicial magistrate to them. Apart from these magistrate, there are a different cadre, that is a higher judicial services. Here higher doesn't mean the high courts or supreme court. It means that the session judges, additional district judge, they become additional session judge and session judge. Sessions judge has all the power to grant bail, grant maximum sentence, whatever provided in the code. So the structure of the civil court is like that. In the civil court, there is two type of courts. One is civil court and one is criminal court. In civil court, chief judicial magistrate, in the civil court, civil judge junior division, senior division, additional district judge, district judge. In the criminal side, judicial magistrate, chief judicial magistrate, and additional session judge, session judge. Apart from that, there may be in the same compound some other tribunals are also there, like that to adjudicate the matter relating to motor accident claims. The Motor Accident Claim Tribunal, MACT. That tribunal is made from the other institute, that the Motor Vehicle Acts, and that tribunal is equivalent to the court of civil judge, equivalent to the court of civil judge, district judge. That court, that tribunal is above the civil judge junior division and civil judge senior division. That the original jurisdiction of the Motor Accident Claim Tribunal is vested into that court, who is presiding by the officer who is equivalent to the district judge. In the same manner, the matter relating to matrimonial disputes are given to another court. We called it family court. It may be in the same premises, but its footing is at different level. The cases arising out of matrimonial dispute is adjudicating before this court, and this court is headed by principal judge, family court, who is equivalent to the district judge. What is the difference when original suit lie before the civil court, before the civil judge junior division or a senior division, and when it lie before a judge of Motor Accident Claim Tribunal or a principal judge family court? Difference is there that what alternate and further remedy you have. Being a litigant, if you file a civil suit before a civil judge senior division, Then after the completely adjudication of the matter, or suppose that if there is an interim relief is asked by you but that is not given, or any other grievance, you can file a appeal before the appellate court, which is in the matter of civil suit is district judge. That the district court has the appellate jurisdiction. But if a case is before the principal judge family court or motor accident claim tribunal, then appeal will be filed before the Honorable High Court, because adjudication by the court, which is equivalent to the district judge, their appeal can't be adjudicated by the same rank officer. So the appeal filed before the High Court in the relevant jurisdiction. So dear friend, what I am telling you, that the structures of the civil court, of the district court, what we in common parlance we say the civil court. In a civil court there are many types of courts are there. Sometimes the electricity courts, electricity tribunal there. There are several acts made under special statutes, like that Prevention of Anti-Corruption Act. There are some dedicated court formed by the state authority. There are some special court formed under the Gangster Act, formed under the POXO Act. Again, see, if there is any special court, then trial of that offences of that court is done by that special court, and that special court is always be equivalent to the court of session. Suppose that any matter is registered against any person in the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Act. It doesn't matter how much I can say that less serious offense he committed. Suppose that he using slur language or criminally intimidate any person, then section 504 or 506, a very common section, if it is invoked normally, that is in Indian Penal Code, FIR is registered under the Indian Penal Code normally, then the trial will be done by the magistrate court. But suppose that along with that, if that person uses the slur language against a casteist slur against the member of Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe communities, then this SC/ST Act section will be also attracted, and then according to the statute, these trials of the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Acts will be done by the special courts, which is equivalent to the session court. So if the trial is done by the magistrate court, you can file appeal before the session court in your same district, in your same complex. But suppose that if the trial is going to be done by the session court, you have no relief except to file an appeal before the Honorable High Court. In the same manner, if there is a Gangster Act, then the court presiding that or established under that act is equivalent to the session court, equivalent to the session judge. Why I am informing you about these structure? These structures are important to understand the basic functioning of the court. Suppose that if you understand what will be the benefit of, if you can get relief that your section under booked under Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Act will get quashed. Suppose a trial is going on under section 323 IPC, 504 IPC, 506 IPC along with 325 of SC/ST Act. Then the, this case is tried by the Court of Session. But if you challenge that order before the High Court and somehow you able to show and convince the court that look, this matter is not relating to the Scheduled Caste Scheduled Tribe Atrocities Act, no section provided under Scheduled Caste Scheduled Tribe Acts is invoked here, and after satisfying, Honorable High Court quests this section and allow the allow your petition and further direct that the trial may be go on with IPC sections. See how much drastic change will come in the trial. Firstly, the trial is done, trial is continuing by the Court of Session. But when this section Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Act was deleted, then it become magisterial trial. So we will meet in the next lecture or in the next discussion and discuss some more real objective things relating to the courts. And this time we will discuss how the bar and bench are the two pillars. Bar and bench are the two pillars who can working together to get to provide the justice to the citizens. In which manner, being a part of a bar, we can suggest the bench that how the citizen will be benefited by our system. And being a citizen, it is our duty that the more the vigilant the citizen are, more better the institution we have. Judiciary is not work in vacuum, it works in society. The more vigilant the citizen, more vigilant our people will be, then the court will also act accordance with. Although the Constitution of India is supreme, it makes the Indian judiciary independent, but what actually the interpretation of law or the sources, or we can say the motivation, the intent, that all comes from the large and parcel, I can say that all comes through the what citizens are thinking, what citizens are wanted, what their expectation, and how they behave, and whether they are aware citizen or they can assert their right effectively. All these things depends upon the functioning of judiciary, and vice versa, the functioning of the citizen, what their duty, what they are performing about, and what they are giving, what they are doing to betterment of the institution. Judiciary, it may be it may be seems like that it is some sort of governmental body or a governmental institution, but actually it is different from the government. It may be depends upon the government for execution of its order, not in not in real sense, because if the judiciary wish, he can implement it can implement its order through various mechanism. They have also different source to execute their orders. But whatever the executive is, that all vested into the state, that is proper executive. They are executive machinery, they are state machinery, and judiciary obviously is depends upon that machinery. But it is no, where we have to think that, look, Indian judiciary has no truth or has no power to effectively implement its order. Whatever order the judiciary want to be implemented, that will be implemented. I will discuss it later on when we will meet. The only thing what I want to suggest is that the more you aware about, more you assert about your rights, then judiciary also trying to give you that rights. Suppose that if the people are not aware about their right and they are not demanding, or the behavioral pattern at large level of the citizen. Suppose if we talk about secularism, if the Indian citizens are not having concern about the secularism, the court, it is not possible for the court actually in a true sense protect the secularism in the society. Because it is our duty, when we make the constitution, it is our duty to follow the principal goals enshrined in our preamble. It is our duty. Therefore, if we will not follow our onerous duty, then definitely our institution and other administrative systems will be collapsed or not worked up to that extent at the expectation of the citizens. Meet you soon. Thank you.